Logan Bennett had built his fortune by making difficult decisions without hesitation. As one of the city's most successful millionaires, he rarely allowed emotions to interfere with business. But on one ordinary afternoon, as he walked through a crowded downtown street, something unexpected made him stop in his tracks. Near the edge of the sidewalk sat a woman wearing worn-out clothes, her hair tangled and her face marked by exhaustion. Beside her were two small twin girls, no older than 4, dressed in faded clothing that offered little protection from the cold. One child quietly wiped away tears, while the other leaned against her mother's shoulder, trying to stay brave. "It's all right, sweetheart," the woman whispered softly, gently stroking her daughter's hair. "Someone will help us soon." The sound of her voice struck Logan with unexpected force. He looked closer, and his heart nearly stopped. It was Olivia Carter. Years earlier, Olivia had been the brightest girl in school. Confident, beautiful, and admired by everyone. Logan had secretly cared for her, though she had barely noticed him, except to laugh at his clumsy attempts to get her attention. Now the woman who once seemed destined for a perfect future was sitting on a sidewalk with 2 hungry children. He stepped toward her, carefully. "Olivia?" She slowly looked up. Her eyes widened with shock before filling with embarrassment. "Logan." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. "What happened?" he finally asked. Olivia lowered her head and wrapped her arms around the twins. "It doesn't matter," she answered quietly. "We're managing." Logan knew that wasn't true. The girls' pale faces and empty expressions revealed the reality she was trying to hide. "No," he said firmly. "You're not." Olivia tried to refuse his help, insisting they would be fine, but Logan couldn't walk away. He immediately called his driver and asked him to bring the car. Within minutes, a luxury vehicle pulled up beside them. Logan gently picked up one of the exhausted little girls, while Olivia carried the other. During the drive, silence filled the car. Logan kept wondering how life had changed so drastically for the woman he once admired. When they reached his estate, Olivia hesitated at the entrance, clearly uncomfortable. "You don't have to do this," she whispered. "I do," Logan replied. "You and the girls deserve a safe place to rest." Inside, the housekeeper welcomed them and prepared a comfortable bedroom while a warm meal was served. The twins eagerly enjoyed their first proper food in what seemed like a long time, their tired faces slowly brightening. Watching them eat, Logan felt both relief and sadness. Whatever had happened to Olivia, it was obvious she had endured more pain than anyone should ever face. The following morning, sunlight filled the mansion as Olivia watched her daughters sleeping peacefully in soft beds. For the first time in months, they were warm, safe, and free from fear. Later, Logan invited Olivia to breakfast. After the twins finished eating, the housekeeper took them to play in another room, leaving the 2 adults alone. Logan looked directly at Olivia. "Last night, I didn't want to pressure you," he said calmly. "But today, I need to know the truth. How did the woman who once dreamed of changing the world end up fighting just to survive?" Olivia took a slow, shaky breath. She knew the moment had come to reveal the painful story she had hidden for far too long. Olivia remained silent for several seconds before finally speaking. She stared at the floor, her fingers tightly intertwined in her lap, as though gathering the strength to revisit memories she had spent years trying to bury. "It isn't something I enjoy talking about," she admitted quietly. Logan leaned forward, his voice calm and reassuring. "I'm not asking because I want to judge you. I just want to understand. What I saw yesterday didn't happen overnight. Something must have led you here." Olivia closed her eyes for a brief moment before beginning. "After high school, I started dating Jake Miller. The name instantly brought back old memories." Logan remembered Jake as the charming athlete everyone admired, though beneath his popularity was a selfish streak that few people noticed. "I thought I'd found the person I would spend my life with," Olivia continued. "Everything felt perfect until I discovered I was expecting twins." She paused, taking a shaky breath. "When I told Jake, I believed we would face the future together. Instead, he said he wasn't ready to become a father." He walked away without looking back. Logan's jaw tightened as anger rose inside him. "He abandoned you?" Olivia nodded, tears filling her eyes. "I never saw him again. Life became a constant struggle after that. With little family support and no one willing to stand beside her, Olivia worked every job she could find while raising Harper and Hazel alone. Even then, it wasn't enough. Bills piled higher each month, and eventually she lost the small apartment she'd fought so hard to keep. After that, she whispered, "The streets became our home." The room fell silent. Logan struggled to imagine everything she had endured. He had known Olivia as someone full of confidence and ambition. Seeing how hardship had transformed her filled him with both sadness and determination. "Why didn't you ask anyone for help?" he asked gently. A faint, bitter smile crossed her face. "Because I was ashamed. Every day felt like another failure. I couldn't bear the thought of people seeing what my life had become." Logan shook his head. "You have nothing to be ashamed of. You survived when many people wouldn't have. And from this moment forward, you won't have to carry this burden alone." Olivia looked at him in surprise. "Why are you doing all this for me?" For a moment, Logan searched for the right words. "Because I've never stopped caring about you." His honest confession left Olivia speechless. That evening, after tucking Harper and Hazel into their warm beds, Olivia sat quietly beside the window. Hope was beginning to replace the fear that had controlled her life for so long, yet accepting help also meant trusting someone again, a step that frightened her more than she wanted to admit. The next morning, the mansion echoed with the cheerful laughter of the twins as they explored their temporary home. Their smiles reminded Olivia how quickly a child's world could change when they finally felt safe. During breakfast, Logan encouraged her to focus only on recovering and spending time with her daughters. Although she insisted she wanted to find work immediately, he assured her there would be time for that later. Instead, he suggested something far more important. "We're going shopping today," he said with a smile. "Harper and Hazel deserve clothes, shoes, and everything they've been missing." Soon the four of them were walking through a children's clothing store. The twins' excitement filled every corner as they admired colourful outfits and new shoes. "Can I really have this dress?" Harper asked, holding a sparkling blue outfit against herself. Olivia smiled through watery eyes. "Yes, sweetheart." Nearby, Hazel carefully picked up a pair of brand new sneakers. "And me too." "You too," Olivia replied, realising it had been a long time since she had seen such genuine happiness on her daughters' faces. The shopping trip ended with smiling faces and bags full of new clothes, shoes, and a few toys for the twins. Watching Harper and Hazel laugh as they admired their gifts filled Logan with quiet satisfaction. Afterward, he treated them to lunch at a nearby restaurant, where the girls happily chatted about their favourite outfits and shared bites from each other's plates. Olivia watched her daughters with grateful eyes. It had been months since she had seen them so carefree. "You've done more for us in one day than I ever imagined," she said softly. "Thank you." Logan smiled. Anyone who had the chance to help would have done the same. She slowly shook her head. "No, not everyone would." A heavy silence followed before Olivia admitted something she had carried for years. "I wasn't always kind to you. Looking back, I regret the way I treated you." Logan dismissed the apology with a gentle smile. "That belongs in the past. What matters is the future, not old mistakes." Back at the mansion, the twins rushed into the garden to explore, while Olivia watched from a nearby window. Their laughter echoed through the yard, reminding her why she'd never given up, despite every hardship she had faced. "They're wonderful girls," Logan said quietly. "They're the reason I kept fighting," Olivia replied. "Without them, I don't know where I'd be." The following morning, the two shared coffee before breakfast. Logan asked about her plans for rebuilding her life, expecting her to mention finding another job. Instead, he surprised her with a different idea. "What if you continued your education instead?" Olivia looked at him in disbelief. "I can't. I have no money, no time, and two little girls depending on me." "You'll have support," Logan answered. "If you gain new skills, you'll create a stronger future for yourself and for Harper and Hazel." Later that evening, he handed her information about business and entrepreneurship programs, encouraging her to consider studying instead of settling for another low-paying job. At first, Olivia doubted herself. She feared she had missed her chance to build a better future. Yet the more she thought about Logan's words, the more she realised this opportunity could change everything. A few days later, she enrolled in the courses. Her new routine was demanding but rewarding. While the twins spent their mornings playing safely under the housekeeper's care, Olivia dedicated herself to learning. Every lesson restored a little more of the confidence she had once lost. Logan watched her progress with pride, knowing that each small achievement brought her one step closer to the life she and her daughters truly deserved. As the weeks passed, Olivia slowly found her rhythm. Her confidence grew with every lesson she completed, and Logan's steady encouragement gave her the motivation to keep moving forward. For the first time in years, she could picture a future that wasn't defined by fear or survival. One afternoon, while she was studying in the office, Logan entered with an unusually serious expression. "We need to talk," he said quietly. Olivia immediately sensed something was wrong. "What happened?" Logan took a seat across from her before answering. "I found Jake." The name alone was enough to make Olivia's heart race. Memories she had spent years trying to forget suddenly returned. Jake, the man who had walked away when she needed him most, leaving her to raise their daughters alone. "You spoke to him?" she asked, barely above a whisper. Logan nodded. "I wanted to hear the truth directly from him." After a long pause, he continued. He admitted that he knew about the pregnancy. He said he wasn't willing to accept the responsibility of becoming a father, so he chose to disappear. Olivia closed her eyes, fighting back painful emotions. Did he ask about Harper and Hazel? Logan slowly shook his head. He never even mentioned them. Although the answer hurt, it also destroyed the last small hope Olivia had been holding on to. Deep inside, she had always wondered whether Jake regretted his decision. Now she finally had her answer. That evening, after thinking for hours, Olivia decided she needed closure. She called Jake herself. His voice was distant and emotionless. She told him he had two beautiful daughters who deserved to know whether their father cared about them. Instead of showing regret, he made it clear he wanted nothing to do with their lives. When the call ended, Olivia quietly set her phone aside. The conversation had been painful, but it also freed her from years of unanswered questions. Later that night, Logan found her sitting beside the sleeping twins. "I finally know the truth," she told him. "Now I can stop waiting for someone who is never coming back." Logan admired her courage. The following morning, he handed her a beautiful notebook and a fine pen. "What's this for?" she asked. "Your future," he replied. "Write down every goal you want to achieve. We'll turn those dreams into a plan." A few days later, Logan offered her a temporary position at his company, so she could gain practical experience while continuing her studies. At first, Olivia doubted herself, believing she wasn't qualified. But Logan reminded her that determination often mattered more than experience. Trusting his belief in her, she accepted the opportunity. It marked the beginning of a new chapter, one built not on fear or regret, but on confidence, hard work, and the hope of giving Harper and Hazel the life they had always deserved. As time passed, Olivia's confidence continued to grow. Every success at work and in her studies reminded her that she was capable of building a better future. Logan noticed the transformation and quietly admired the determination that had replaced the uncertainty he had first seen. One afternoon, Olivia presented a new idea during a company meeting that would simplify part of an ongoing project. Her proposal impressed everyone in the room, and Logan immediately approved it. "Excellent work, Olivia," he said proudly. "Let's move forward with your plan." His confidence in her abilities meant more than any compliment she had ever received. For the first time in years, she truly believed she had something valuable to contribute. After work, they walked together toward the parking area. Logan paused and looked at her with a warm smile. "Have you realized how much you've changed since you came here?" Olivia laughed softly. "Sometimes I still feel like I'm the same person who arrived with nothing." "I don't see that woman anymore," Logan replied. "I see someone brave, intelligent, and stronger than she gives herself credit for." His words made her heart beat faster. Before either of them could say anything else, Harper and Hazel came running toward them, waving colourful drawings they had made. "Mommy, look!" Olivia knelt to hug them while Logan watched the joyful moment with quiet happiness. That evening, after putting the twins to bed, Olivia couldn't stop thinking about everything Logan had done for them. His kindness, patience, and unwavering support had become a constant source of comfort. Without realising it, she had begun to fall in love with him. Logan, meanwhile, struggled with the same feelings. He respected Olivia too much to rush her, but every day he found himself caring more deeply for her and the little family they were creating together. A few days later, he invited Olivia to sit with him in the living room while the twins played outside. "I want you to stop blaming yourself for the past," he told her gently. "You've carried enough guilt." Olivia lowered her eyes. "I've always regretted how I treated you years ago. I never imagined we'd meet again. I never imagined we'd meet again under these circumstances." Logan smiled reassuringly. "We've both changed. What matters isn't who we were, it's who we're becoming." Those simple words lifted a burden she had carried for years. The following weekend, Logan surprised Olivia and the twins with a trip to a nearby farm. The girls laughed as they fed animals, explored open fields, and enjoyed homemade treats. Watching Logan play with Harper and Hazel so naturally filled Olivia with warmth. Driving home, she realised something she had been afraid to admit. For the first time in years, the future no longer frightened her. Instead, it filled her with hope, gratitude, and the possibility of a life she had once believed was forever out of reach. With each passing day, Olivia became more comfortable in her new role. The confidence that had once seemed impossible slowly returned, as she discovered talents she had forgotten she possessed. Logan never missed an opportunity to encourage her, reminding her that every achievement belonged to her, not to him. One morning, he invited Olivia to accompany him to an important business meeting. "I'm afraid I'll make a mistake," she admitted as they prepared to leave. "You won't," Logan replied with a reassuring smile. "Just be yourself. That's more than enough." At the company's headquarters, Olivia was introduced to several senior executives. Although nervous at first, she carefully listened to the discussion and eventually shared a few practical suggestions. To her surprise, the room responded positively. "You've brought a fresh perspective," one executive commented. The praise boosted her confidence, and Logan couldn't hide the pride in his expression. After the meeting, they stopped at a quiet cafe nearby. As they enjoyed coffee together, Logan smiled. "You handled yourself incredibly well today." "I was terrified," Olivia confessed with a laugh. "But it felt good to contribute." "You've earned every bit of that success," Logan said. "Never doubt your abilities again." Their conversation ended when the housekeeper called to say Harper and Hazel were asking for their mother. The moment they returned home, the twins rushed into Olivia's arms, filling the house with laughter. Later that afternoon, Logan organised a picnic in the garden. The children played happily while he and Olivia sat nearby watching them. "They've become so comfortable around you," Olivia said. "I care about them," Logan answered honestly. "Seeing them smile makes my day." His words touched Olivia more deeply than she expected. That evening, after helping tuck the twins into bed, Logan finally spoke the feelings he had been keeping to himself. "You and the girls have changed my life," he said quietly. "I care about you more than I ever planned to." Olivia's heart skipped a beat. "I care about you too," she admitted softly. "But I'm still healing. I need a little more time." "I understand," Logan replied. "I'll wait for as long as you need." Days later, as a storm gathered over the city, they stood together on the mansion's terrace overlooking the glowing skyline. The cool breeze carried a peaceful silence between them. "I used to come here whenever I felt lost," Logan said. "Now I don't need to. Being with you brings me the peace I was always searching for." Olivia looked into his eyes, seeing only honesty. "I feel something too," she whispered. "I'm just afraid of getting hurt again." Logan gently smiled. "Then we'll take one step at a time." As the first drops of rain began to fall, they walked back inside together, both knowing that their relationship had quietly crossed into a new and hopeful chapter. As the weeks passed, the line between friendship and love became harder for both Logan and Olivia to ignore. They worked together during the day, laughed with Harper and Hazel in the evenings, and slowly created the kind of family neither of them had expected to find. Even so, Olivia still carried scars from the past that occasionally filled her with doubt. One afternoon, while she was organising company reports, her phone vibrated. An unfamiliar number had sent her a single photograph. It showed Logan having dinner with an elegant woman at a restaurant. Beneath the image was a short message. "Do you really know the man you're living with?" Olivia's heart skipped a beat. Although she trusted Logan, old fears returned almost instantly. After everything she had survived, betrayal was something she could never completely forget. When Logan arrived home later that evening, he immediately noticed the concern on her face. "Is something wrong?" he asked. Without saying a word, Olivia handed him her phone. Logan studied the picture before letting out a slow sigh. I know exactly who she is, he explained calmly. She's a business consultant. We met to discuss a project for the company. That's all. Olivia wanted to believe him, yet the anonymous message had planted a seed of uncertainty. Why would someone send this to me? She asked quietly. I don't know, Logan replied. Boo, I promise I'll find out. A few days later, he returned with answers. After investigating, he discovered that the message had been sent by a former employee who blamed Logan for being dismissed from the company. It was nothing more than an attempt to damage his personal life. Relieved, Olivia apologized for doubting him. I let my fears speak louder than my heart, she admitted. Logan gently smiled. You don't have to apologize. Trust takes time, especially after everything you've been through. His patience only strengthened her feelings. As the months passed, their relationship became even stronger. They spent weekends walking through parks with Harper and Hazel, enjoying quiet family dinners, and celebrating every small success together. Logan had become a constant source of love and security, while Olivia finally felt she could lower the emotional walls she had built over so many years. One peaceful afternoon, while watching the twins chase butterflies across a nearby park, Logan realized he already knew what he wanted for the rest of his life. That evening, after asking the housekeeper to watch the girls, he invited Olivia onto the mansion's terrace. The city lights stretched across the skyline beneath a clear night sky. There's something I've wanted to ask you, he said. He reached into his pocket and opened a small velvet box, revealing a delicate engagement ring. Olivia, you and the girls have completely changed my life. I don't just want to help you anymore. I want to spend the rest of my life beside all three of you. Will you marry me? Overcome with emotion, Olivia covered her mouth as tears filled her eyes. For a moment she couldn't speak, then she smiled through happy tears. Yes, she whispered. I'd love to. Logan gently slipped the ring onto her finger before pulling her into a warm embrace. It felt as though every painful chapter that had brought them together had finally come to an end. The twins celebrated the engagement with endless excitement, proudly telling everyone they would be the flower girls at the wedding. Together, they helped choose decorations, flowers, and tiny dresses, turning every preparation into another treasured family memory. Yet despite all the happiness surrounding her, Olivia knew there was one final chapter she needed to close. One evening, as she stood beside Logan on the terrace, she spoke quietly. I need to see Jake one last time. Logan looked at her with concern, but listened without interrupting. It isn't because I still care about him, she explained. I simply need to leave the past behind forever before I begin our future. Logan gently took her hand. If that's what your heart needs, I'll support you every step of the way. For the first time, Olivia wasn't facing the past alone. She had someone beside her who believed in her completely, and that made all the difference. The following day, Olivia met Jake for what she knew would be the last time. Logan had helped locate him, but he respected her wish to face the meeting alone. Even so, she found comfort in knowing he was only a phone call away if she needed him. Jake was standing outside a small neighborhood bar when she arrived. Time had clearly left its mark on him, and the confidence he once carried had faded. I didn't expect to see you, he admitted. I'm not here to argue, Olivia replied calmly. I only came because I need to close this chapter of my life. They sat down for a few minutes while Olivia spoke honestly. She explained that Harper and Hazel had grown into wonderful little girls, despite the hardships they had faced. They no longer needed anything from him. Not financial support, not apologies, and not empty promises. They already have someone who loves them like a father, she said. Logan has given them everything they were missing. Jake lowered his eyes, unable to deny the truth. When Olivia walked away, she didn't feel anger or sadness. Instead, she felt peace. The past no longer had any power over her. Back at the mansion, Logan was helping the twins build a play tent in the garden. The moment he saw Olivia's smile, he knew she had found the closure she needed. Not long afterward, wedding preparations filled the house with excitement. Harper and Hazel proudly chose flowers and practiced walking down the aisle, determined to make the day perfect. The ceremony itself was simple, intimate, and filled with genuine happiness. Standing before family and close friends, Logan and Olivia exchanged heartfelt vows, promising not only to love one another, but also to protect the family they had built together. Their new life began with gratitude and hope. Months later, another unexpected blessing arrived. After feeling unusually tired for several days, Olivia visited her doctor for a routine examination. The results brought joyful news: she was expecting a baby. When she shared the surprise with Logan, his face lit up with happiness. "We're going to have a child together," he said, embracing her with tears in his eyes. Harper and Hazel celebrated the announcement as if it were their own greatest adventure. They eagerly helped decorate the nursery and imagined all the games they would play with their future sibling. Although the pregnancy required extra care, Logan made sure Olivia never carried the burden alone. He supported her through every appointment, every challenge, and every joyful milestone. Finally, after months of waiting, their son entered the world healthy and strong. Holding the newborn in his arms, Logan smiled with overwhelming gratitude. "Our family is complete," he whispered. Watching Harper and Hazel lovingly welcome their little brother, Olivia realised how far they had come. What had once begun with heartbreak on a lonely sidewalk had become a home filled with love, trust, laughter, and hope. For the first time in many years, she no longer dreamed about finding happiness. She was finally living it. Logan slowed his pace when he noticed a woman sitting on the cold sidewalk with two little girls wrapped in torn, worn-out clothes. One child quietly rubbed her tear-filled eyes while the other leaned against her mother's shoulder. Weak from hunger, the woman gently stroked her daughter's hair and whispered, "It's okay, sweetheart. Someone will help us soon." Her voice trembled with exhaustion and hope. A sudden shock ran through Logan. Even beneath the dirt, exhaustion, and years of hardship, he recognized her. It was Olivia Carter, the girl he had admired throughout high school. She had rarely noticed him back then, and when she did, it was often with teasing smiles. Now she looked completely different, broken by life. "Olivia?" Logan called softly. She slowly lifted her head, and her eyes widened in disbelief. "Logan!" For a few silent seconds, neither of them spoke. The weight of old memories filled the air before Olivia lowered her gaze, embarrassed by her situation. "What happened to you?" Logan asked with genuine concern. "It doesn't matter," she replied quietly while holding her daughters closer. "We're fine. Please, just leave." But Logan couldn't ignore what he was seeing. The little girls were clearly hungry, frightened, and exhausted. "You're not fine," he said firmly. "Come with me, let me help." "I can't. You can and you will. I'm not leaving you and your daughters out here." Seeing no other choice, Olivia reluctantly accepted his hand. Logan called his driver, and within minutes a car arrived. He gently carried one of the twins, while Olivia held the other as they drove to his mansion. The children quickly fell asleep during the ride. Olivia silently stared out the window, unable to believe how her life had reached this point. When they arrived, she hesitated at the entrance. "You don't have to do this," she whispered. "I do," Logan replied. "Tonight you'll eat, rest, and feel safe." Inside, the housekeeper prepared a comfortable room while warm food was served. The twins eagerly ate before curling up on the sofa, finally surrounded by warmth instead of cold streets. The following morning, Logan invited Olivia and the girls to breakfast. After the twins happily finished eating, the housekeeper took them to another room, leaving Logan and Olivia alone. "I need to know what happened," Logan said gently. After a long silence, Olivia finally spoke. "After high school, I fell in love with Jake Miller. When I became pregnant, he left me without looking back. I raised Harper and Hazel alone, but eventually I lost my job. The bills piled up and we were evicted. Since then, we've survived on the streets." Logan listened quietly, anger rising inside him. He remembered Jake well and couldn't believe he had abandoned Olivia when she needed him most. "Why didn't you ask anyone for help?" he asked softly. "I was ashamed," Olivia admitted. "I didn't want anyone to see what my life had become." Logan looked directly into her eyes. "You don't have to face this alone anymore. I'll help you rebuild your life." Tears filled Olivia's eyes as hope slowly replaced despair. For the first time in years, she believed that a better future for herself and her daughters might finally be possible. After breakfast, Logan encouraged Olivia to relax while Harper and Hazel excitedly explored the mansion's beautiful garden under the housekeeper's watchful eye. The twins laughed freely, enjoying a carefree morning that felt almost magical after months of hardship. Watching them smile filled Olivia's heart with gratitude, though she still struggled with the feeling that she was depending too much on Logan's generosity. "I don't know how to thank you," she admitted quietly. "As soon as I can, I'll find a job and start standing on my own again." Logan gently shook his head. "There's no rush, Olivia. Right now, your only responsibility is to recover. We'll figure everything else out together." Although his words were comforting, Olivia found it difficult to accept help. She had spent so long surviving on her own that relying on someone else felt unfamiliar. Still, she knew her daughters deserved a better future, so she pushed her pride aside. Later that morning, Logan found Olivia in the kitchen, helping wash dishes. "You don't have to do this," he said with a smile. "I need to contribute somehow," Olivia replied. "I can't just keep accepting everything." "If it makes you feel better, that's fine," Logan answered, "but I'd rather focus on something more important. Do Harper and Hazel have everything they need?" Olivia hesitated before answering. "They need new clothes, shoes. Almost everything they own is worn out." "Then let's fix that today." Within an hour, the four of them arrived at a children's clothing store. Harper's eyes sparkled as she picked out a bright blue dress covered in tiny stars. "Can I really have this, Mummy?" Olivia smiled through tears. "Yes, sweetheart." Hazel shyly chose a pair of colourful sneakers, and Logan happily encouraged both girls to select whatever they liked. Before long, they had new outfits, shoes, backpacks, and a few toys. Seeing the twins laugh without worry was worth every penny. They celebrated with lunch at a nearby restaurant. Harper and Hazel chatted excitedly while Olivia watched them with quiet happiness. "You've done so much for us," she said softly. "I've only done what anyone should," Logan replied. Olivia lowered her eyes. "I wasn't kind to you in school. You deserved better." Logan smiled gently. "The past is behind us. What matters is the future." His forgiveness eased a burden Olivia had carried for years. Back at the mansion, the twins rushed into the garden to play with their new toys, while Olivia stood by the window, watching them. "They're wonderful girls," Logan said. "They're the reason I never gave up," Olivia answered. "And you're stronger than you realise." The next morning, a peaceful routine was beginning to form. Logan greeted Olivia over coffee before asking about her future. "You mentioned finding work. What kind of job would you like?" "I'll do anything that lets me support my daughters," Olivia replied. "I never finished my education, so my choices are limited." Logan thought for a moment before speaking. "What if you finished your education first?" Olivia stared at him in surprise. "That's impossible. Why? I don't have the money, the time, or anyone to watch Harper and Hazel." "You have all three now," Logan said confidently. "Stay here. I'll help with tuition, and the girls will always be cared for while you study." Olivia immediately shook her head. "You've already done more than enough. I can't ask for anything else." "You aren't asking," Logan replied calmly. "I'm offering because I believe in you." She remained silent, overwhelmed by his kindness. Logan continued, "This isn't charity. It's an investment in your future. If you build a stable career, Harper and Hazel will grow up with opportunities they never had before." Olivia looked toward the garden, where her daughters were laughing together without a care in the world. For the first time, she allowed herself to imagine a different life. Not one defined by fear and survival, but by hope, education, and a chance to rebuild everything she had lost. Slowly, tears filled her eyes as she whispered, Maybe it's finally time to believe that a new beginning is possible." That evening, after Harper and Hazel had fallen asleep, Logan invited Olivia into his office. He handed her a small envelope and waited patiently as she opened it. Inside were brochures for business and entrepreneurship courses. "I want you to think about this," Logan said. "You're intelligent, hardworking, and stronger than you realise. These courses could help you build a career and create the future your daughters deserve." Olivia stared at the papers, overwhelmed. "Logan, this is too much. I don't know if I can do it." "You don't have to decide tonight," he replied warmly. "Just promise you'll think about it." For several days, Olivia couldn't stop thinking about his words. The idea of returning to school frightened her, but it also gave her hope. Eventually, she realised this opportunity could change not only her life, but also Harper and Hazel's future. She enrolled in the programme. The first weeks were difficult. Balancing classes with motherhood wasn't easy, yet Logan made sure she had everything she needed. While the twins spent time with the housekeeper, Olivia studied for hours each day. Slowly, the lessons became easier, her confidence grew, and she rediscovered the ambitious young woman she thought had disappeared years ago. Logan quietly celebrated every achievement. Whether it was a good grade or simply finishing another chapter, he encouraged her to keep moving forward. His faith in her gradually became the confidence she had lost. As weeks passed, Olivia realised Logan had become an important part of her life. His kindness, patience, and unwavering support slowly broke through the walls she had built around her heart. One afternoon, however, Logan entered her study with an unusually serious expression. "We need to talk." Olivia immediately sensed something was wrong. "What happened?" "I found someone from your past," Logan answered. "Jake Miller." The name sent a chill through Olivia. Jake, the man who had abandoned her when she told him she was pregnant, the father of Harper and Hazel, the man who had disappeared without looking back. "I tracked him down," Logan continued. "I wanted answers." "You did what?" Olivia asked, stunned. "I needed to know why he walked away." Although grateful for Logan's concern, Olivia felt conflicted. The past was a wound she had spent years trying to survive. "What did he say?" she whispered. Logan sighed. "He admitted everything. He knew you were pregnant. He simply didn't want the responsibility. He said it was easier to disappear than become a father." The word struck Olivia like a knife. Even though she had expected the truth, hearing it spoken aloud reopened old scars. "Did he ask about the girls?" she asked quietly. Logan shook his head. "No, he never mentioned them." Tears filled Olivia's eyes. Somewhere deep inside, she had secretly hoped Jake had changed. Instead, she learned he still showed no interest in the daughters he had abandoned. Logan gently placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You don't have to carry this burden alone." "Thank you," Olivia replied, forcing a small smile. "But some battles I have to face myself." That night, long after everyone else had gone to bed, Olivia sat alone in the quiet kitchen with a cup of tea growing cold beside her. Memories of Jake, years of struggle, and Logan's words filled her mind. She realised she could never truly move forward until she faced the past. For the next few days, concentrating on her studies became almost impossible. Logan noticed her distraction but wisely gave her space, offering support without pressure. Finally, Olivia made a decision. She picked up her phone and dialed a number she had avoided for years. After several rings, Jake answered. "Hello, it's Olivia." A long silence followed. "What do you want?" he asked coldly. "We need to talk." "About what? It's been years. It's about Harper and Hazel." Jake sighed impatiently. "I already made my decision a long time ago. I don't want anything to do with this." Olivia closed her eyes, steadying her voice. "This conversation isn't about me anymore. It's about your daughters. Whether you like it or not, they deserve answers. And it's time you finally face the responsibility you've been running from." Olivia held the phone tightly after Jake ended the call. "I've moved on," he had said. "You should do the same." The silence that followed was louder than his words. Although painful, the conversation gave Olivia something she had needed for years: closure. She finally accepted that Jake would never become the father Harper and Hazel deserved. That evening, Logan found her sitting quietly on the couch while the twins slept peacefully beside her. "I spoke to Jake," Olivia said. Logan immediately understood. "How did it go?" "Exactly as I expected. He doesn't want anything to do with the girls." Logan's jaw tightened with anger. "He has no idea what he's throwing away." Olivia gently looked at her daughters. "I didn't call for him. I called for them. Now I know there's nothing left to hope for." Logan nodded proudly. "Then it's time to look ahead." The next morning, Logan surprised Olivia with a beautiful leather notebook and an elegant pen. "What's this?" she asked. "A place to write your future," he replied. "List your dreams, your goals, and every step you want to take. We'll work toward them together." Touched by his thoughtfulness, Olivia smiled. "I don't know what I'd do without you." "You'd still be strong," Logan answered. "I'm simply walking beside you." Inspired by his encouragement, Olivia threw herself into her studies. Each passing week strengthened her confidence, and before long she was no longer surviving. She was building a new life. One afternoon, Logan entered the living room carrying a folder. "I have something for you." Inside was a job offer from Bennett Enterprises. "Project assistant," Olivia read aloud. Logan nodded. "Logan, it's a flexible position. You'll gain experience while continuing your education, and you'll still have plenty of time for Harper and Hazel." Olivia hesitated. "I've never worked in a company like yours." "You've overcome challenges far greater than office work," Logan replied. "I'm offering this because you've earned it." After thinking carefully, Olivia accepted. On her first day, Logan introduced her to a welcoming team that patiently guided her through every task. Although nervous at first, Olivia quickly proved herself hardworking, organised and eager to learn. Meanwhile, Harper and Hazel settled happily into their new routine. Their laughter filled the mansion each afternoon as they played in the garden or coloured pictures in the kitchen. Logan often joined them, and the girls gradually began treating him like family. Weeks passed, and Olivia's confidence continued to grow. One afternoon during a company meeting, she proposed a new system that would improve project organisation. The room fell silent before several employees nodded in agreement. Logan smiled proudly. "Excellent idea, Olivia. We'll implement it immediately." For the first time in years, Olivia truly believed in herself. Later that evening, as they walked toward the parking area, Logan stopped beside her. "Do you realise how much you've changed?" She smiled modestly. "I still feel like I have a long way to go." "You don't have to prove anything anymore," Logan said softly. "You're already remarkable." His words made her heart race. For a brief moment, it felt as though the world around them had disappeared. Just then, Harper and Hazel came running toward them with colourful drawings in their hands. "Mommy, look what we made." Olivia laughed and hugged both girls while Logan watched with quiet happiness. Seeing the little family together filled him with a sense of peace he hadn't felt in years. That night, Olivia lay awake thinking about everything Logan had done for them. His kindness, patience, and unwavering belief in her had slowly healed wounds she once believed would never close. Yet she was afraid. She had fallen in love once before, and the pain of that betrayal still haunted her. Opening her heart again felt terrifying. Across the mansion, Logan couldn't sleep either. Sitting beside the fireplace, he realised his feelings for Olivia had grown far beyond friendship. He admired her courage, her devotion to her daughters, and the incredible woman she had become. The following morning, while Harper and Hazel played happily outside, Logan found Olivia organising groceries in the kitchen. "Can we talk?" he asked quietly. She looked at him, sensing the seriousness in his voice. "Of course." They walked into the living room and sat across from each other. For a moment, Logan simply looked at her, carefully choosing his words. "There's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time," he began. "I kept waiting because I didn't want to pressure you while you were rebuilding your life." Olivia's heart began to pound. Logan took a slow breath before continuing. "When I found you that night on the sidewalk, I thought I was helping an old friend, but somewhere along the way, I realised my feelings had never disappeared. In fact, they've only grown stronger. I care about you, Olivia. Not out of pity, not because you needed help, but because of the incredible woman you are today. I care about Harper and Hazel too. They've become important to me, and I can't imagine my life without the three of you." Olivia remained speechless, tears gathering in her eyes. Every fear, every hope, and every unanswered question suddenly collided within her heart as she realised the future she had once believed impossible might finally be within reach. After presenting her idea during the meeting, Olivia watched as the executives nodded in agreement. Logan smiled with obvious pride. "Excellent suggestion, Olivia," he said. "We'll implement it immediately." For the first time in years, Olivia felt truly valued. She wasn't simply surviving anymore, she was contributing, growing, and building a future. At the end of the workday, Logan and Olivia walked together toward the parking lot. "Do you realise how much you've changed since you came here?" Logan asked. She smiled modestly. "I still feel like I have so much to prove." Logan stopped and looked into her eyes. "You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You're already amazing just as you are." His words made her heart skip a beat. For a brief moment, the world seemed to disappear around them. Logan took a small step closer, ready to say something more, but before he could speak, two cheerful voices interrupted. "Mommy, look what we made!" Harper and Hazel came running toward them, proudly holding colourful drawings. Olivia laughed and knelt to hug them while Logan watched with a warm smile. Seeing the three of them together filled him with a happiness he hadn't expected to find. That night, as Olivia tucked the twins into bed, she reflected on everything that had happened over the past few months. Logan's kindness, his belief in her abilities, and the love he showed Harper and Hazel meant more than she could express. Yet despite her growing happiness, fear still lingered. She realised she was falling in love with Logan, but the memory of past heartbreak made her afraid to trust again. Across the mansion, Logan sat alone beside the fireplace, unable to sleep. He couldn't stop thinking about Olivia. Although she smiled more often now, He still noticed moments when sadness returned to her eyes. He knew they needed an honest conversation if they were ever going to move forward. The following morning, while the twins played happily in the garden, Logan found Olivia organising groceries in the kitchen. "Can we talk?" he asked gently. She sensed the seriousness in his voice. "Of course." They settled into the living room, and for a long moment neither of them spoke. Finally, Logan broke the silence. "I admire your strength more than you know, but I can also see you're still carrying guilt from the past. I think it's time you let it go." Olivia lowered her eyes. "I made terrible mistakes when we were younger. I was selfish. I judged people without understanding them. Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve everything you've done for me." Logan quietly shook his head. "No one is perfect, Olivia. What matters is who we choose to become." Taking a deep breath, Olivia finally voiced the apology she had carried for years. "I never apologized for the way I treated you in school. I hurt you, and I'm truly sorry." Logan smiled gently. "I forgave you a long time ago. The past doesn't define either of us anymore. What matters is what we're building now." Tears filled Olivia's eyes, but this time they were tears of relief. The burden she had carried for so many years finally began to lift. A few evenings later, Olivia found Logan sitting alone in the garden beneath the moonlight. "Mind if I join you?" she asked. "I'd like that." For a while, they simply enjoyed the peaceful silence. "I still remember finding you that night," Logan said softly. "I never imagined our lives would change so much." "Neither did I," Olivia admitted with a smile. After another quiet moment, Logan asked, "Do you believe in second chances?" Olivia looked up at the stars before answering, "I think I'm finally learning to." Her answer filled Logan with hope. The next weekend, he planned a surprise trip to a nearby farm for Olivia and the twins. Harper and Hazel spent the day feeding animals, running through open fields, and laughing as they enjoyed homemade ice cream. Olivia watched them with joy while Logan joined every game as though he had always been part of their family. Driving home that evening, the twins quickly fell asleep in the back seat. "Thank you," Olivia whispered. "You don't have to thank me, but today reminded me what happiness feels like." Logan smiled. "This is only the beginning." When they returned home, Logan carefully carried the sleeping twins upstairs and tucked them into bed. Olivia watched quietly from the doorway, deeply moved by the tenderness he showed her daughters. That night, she realized something important. The past would always be part of her story, but it no longer controlled her future. The following Monday brought another opportunity. Logan invited Olivia to accompany him to an important business meeting so she could observe how the company operated. Standing outside the office building, Olivia took a nervous breath. "I hope I don't embarrass myself." "You won't," Logan said confidently. "Just be yourself." Inside the impressive conference room, Logan introduced her to several senior executives as one of Bennett Enterprises' most promising new team members. Although surprised by his confidence in her, Olivia listened carefully throughout the meeting, studying every discussion, every decision, and every negotiation. She realized she wasn't simply watching anymore. She was preparing for a future she had once believed impossible. For the first time in her life, she truly felt that she belonged. During the executive meeting, Logan encouraged Olivia to share her thoughts instead of remaining silent. Although nervous, she offered several practical ideas that improved the discussion. To her surprise, the executives listened carefully. "You have a very clear perspective," one of them said. "Thank you," Olivia replied with a modest smile. "I'm still learning, but I'm happy I could contribute." Logan couldn't hide his pride. He had always believed in her potential, but seeing others recognize her abilities made the moment even more rewarding. After the meeting, they stopped at a quiet outdoor cafe. Olivia ordered a cappuccino while Logan chose his usual black coffee. "You were incredible today," Logan said. Olivia laughed softly. "I was terrified. It didn't show. I never imagined I'd be sitting in meetings like that." "And this is only the beginning," Logan replied. "You're building a future through your own hard work." She looked at him with heartfelt gratitude. "None of this would have happened without you. You believed in me before I believed in myself." Logan smiled. "I only opened the door. You were the one brave enough to walk through it." Before Olivia could answer, her phone rang. It was the housekeeper. "Harper and Hazel keep asking when you'll be home." Olivia couldn't help smiling. "They miss me already." They adore their mother, Logan said warmly. When they returned to the mansion, the twins raced toward Olivia and wrapped their little arms around her. Logan watched quietly, realizing how deeply he had grown to love the girls. Their laughter had transformed a house that once felt empty into a real home. That afternoon, he surprised everyone with a picnic in the garden. Harper and Hazel eagerly helped prepare sandwiches, fruit and juice, before spreading a large blanket across the lawn. Watching Logan play games with the twins, Olivia smiled. They're becoming very attached to you. They're impossible not to love, Logan replied. Thank you for making them feel safe. They're part of your life, he answered gently. That makes them important to mine. His words touched Olivia deeply. Later that evening, after the girls had fallen asleep, Logan helped carry them upstairs. Together they tucked the twins into bed before quietly stepping into the hallway. You've changed our lives, Olivia whispered. Logan met her eyes. You've changed mine too. For a long moment neither of them spoke. Downstairs, Olivia prepared herself a cup of tea when Logan quietly entered the kitchen. There's something I need to tell you. She turned toward him. What is it? He took a slow breath. Since you came here, everything has changed. You and the girls brought joy into my life that I never realized was missing. Olivia, I care about you more than I can explain. His honesty caught her completely off guard. She smiled through shining eyes. I care about you too, I truly do. But I'm still healing. Everything feels so new. Logan nodded without disappointment. I'm not asking you to rush. I only wanted you to know the truth. Just then Harper called from upstairs. Mommy! Olivia laughed softly. I'd better go. As she disappeared upstairs, Logan looked at the untouched cup of tea and smiled to himself. He knew trust couldn't be hurried, and he was willing to wait. Over the following weeks, their relationship continued to deepen through quiet conversations, shared responsibilities, and countless small moments that brought them closer. One rainy afternoon, Olivia worked in Logan's office reviewing company reports when he entered, carrying 2 fresh cups of coffee. You're doing remarkable work, he said. I still think I can improve. You probably always will, Logan replied with a smile. That's one of the reasons you're becoming so successful. His encouragement warmed her heart far more than the coffee in her hands. Days passed and their connection became stronger with every conversation. One evening, after Harper and Hazel were asleep, Logan invited Olivia onto the mansion's terrace. The New York skyline stretched before them, beneath a sky filled with heavy clouds. City lights shimmered in the distance while a cool breeze drifted through the quiet night. I used to come here whenever I needed peace, Logan said. And now? He looked directly at her. Now I don't need to. I've already found it. Olivia felt her heart skip. Terrace. The city skyline glowed beneath the evening sky. Olivia, Logan began, there's something I've wanted to ask you. He reached into his pocket and revealed a small velvet box. Inside rested a beautiful engagement ring. You and the girls have brought love into my life in ways I never imagined possible. I don't just want to share tomorrow with you. I want to share every tomorrow. He took a deep breath. Will you marry me? Tears immediately filled Olivia's eyes. Without hesitation, she smiled. Yes. Logan slipped the ring onto her finger before pulling her into a warm embrace. Below them, the city lights shimmered, while upstairs, Harper and Hazel slept peacefully, unaware that their family had just taken the first step toward a brand new future. Wedding preparations quickly filled the mansion with excitement. Olivia chose a small ceremony, surrounded only by the people who truly mattered. Harper and Hazel proudly accepted the role of flower girls, eagerly helping choose decorations, flowers, and tiny dresses for the special day. Despite her happiness, Olivia knew there was one final chapter she needed to close. One evening she turned to Logan. I need to see Jake one last time. Logan looked at her with concern. Are you sure? She nodded. This isn't about getting answers anymore. It's about leaving the past where it belongs. I'll support whatever you decide. The following afternoon, Logan located Jake's address. Although Olivia chose to meet him alone, she knew Logan was only one phone call away. She found Jake outside a small neighborhood bar. Time had clearly been unkind to him. He looked surprised. Olivia? Yes. They sat at a quiet table. What do you want? Jake asked impatiently. Olivia met his eyes with a calmness she had never possessed years earlier. I'm not here to ask for money. I'm not here to ask you to be a father. And I'm certainly not here because I need anything from you. Jake looked confused. Then why are you here? Olivia smiled peacefully. I'm here to tell you that I finally let you go. She paused before continuing. Harper and Hazel have grown into wonderful little girls. They are loved, protected, and surrounded by people who truly care about them. They no longer need someone who walked away. Jake lowered his eyes in silence. You made your choice years ago, Olivia continued. Today I'm making mine. I'm choosing happiness. I'm choosing my family. And I'm choosing never to let your absence define our lives again. With those final words, Olivia stood up, turned around and walked away without looking back. For the first time since becoming a mother, she felt completely free.